Welcome back to Tough Men of Faith.
How you doing?
Good.
Good.
What are you laughing about?
Just laughing at Blake.
Okay.
Yep. I do that a lot.
You do?
Yeah.
Though he yells at you a lot, so it's kind of mutual.
Right. Yep. It is. How you doing?
Good. Did you have a good week?
Oh yeah.
Building houses this week?
Yep. Building a big one.
Yeah.
And then we have 3 more going on.
All right. So how many houses do you keep going at a time?
Right now there's 5. Well, 4. One just closed.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's that feeling like when you close one?
It's not good riddance. But
Well, because you still have stuff, right?
yeah. There's a small
Things-
punch list.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's good. It feels like we're building people's dream homes. So
Isn't it like a sense of accomplishment, though, like to be able to like work with your hands and you go
Yeah.
back to like,
it is.
I built that.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And then it's great. I mean, people are spending crazy amounts of money to build new houses these
Yeah.
days, and it's cool to see them, being able to put their dream on paper, and then we make it a reality.
Yeah.
So
I had a friend that worked road construction, like in the summer, would work crazy hours,
Yeah.
right, building interstates and stuff. And he used to love when we drive around together. And he'd be like,
I built this.
"I laid that cement. I carried that."
Yeah.
What did they call it? The rebar, the stuff
Yeah.
that he would have to carry those baskets, and he's
Yeah.
like, "I carried basket after basket for mile after mile and laid that." And there's
Yeah.
like, but as men, like there's like this sense of accomplishment, like. We're designed to work,
Yeah.
right? And so I think part of like we're designed to work to make things better. And it's like, hey man, he made 465 better by working 18-hour
By
days
being there.
all summer and doing it. And
Yeah. My wife hates that because we drive around and I say, "Oh, I built that neighborhood," or "I drywalled that whole neighborhood," and
yeah.
I think she's tired of hearing about it. You know?
Nah, just keep doing it, man.
Okay.
She loves hearing about it.
Yeah.
I think it's cool, like to hear about guys' jobs where they build different things.
I do too. That was
Yeah.
one of my favorite parts of last season's, or not, maybe not even last season, but we did a big series on people's jobs, and
Yeah.
that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So
I think it's hard when you have a job where there's no sense of accomplishment when you leave for the day.
Right.
It's like,
yeah, like being a pastor.
it's like being a pastor. It's like someone asked me, I don't know if it's Blake or you, someone asked me earlier, it's like, what'd you do today? It's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was really busy.
Right.
I don't know. I remember setting out cones in a parking lot
Yeah.
for hours on end.
I had 9 cups of coffee, and
Yeah.
that's basically all I did today.
I was out there freezing cold today. It's
Were you?
like the wind was blowing. I was
We're in
outside.
the bus line.
I was getting ready for I don't know if a bus line, but a
Yeah.
line. I was setting out cones trying to figure out the best traffic flow pattern. And I thought,
Okay.
they didn't teach me this in seminary.
Funny thing.
All right, let's jump in. Last week we talked about money.
Yeah,
And
love
we
of
said
money.
we're going to come back to it this week. So
Right.
would you consider yourself rich?
Funny you asked that. We just had a conversation in my household the other day.
Yeah.
By some people's standards, we are rich, money-wise.
Mhm.
And by the people that I think I look up to, money-wise, we are poor. If that makes sense.
It makes sense.
Um,
I would push back and say, so, well, when you look at society as a whole, not just America's society, like you're going to be in the top couple percent,
yeah, I guess.
top 1, probably.
I think that's what the statistics are, yeah.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't consider myself in the top 1.
But so you're rich.
Great. I'm rich.
I mean, if you have more money and access to money than 99% of people
Right.
alive,
Yeah.
would you consider yourself rich?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, good. I'm a preacher, man, so I'm trying to establish this.
I know.
before we
I see
move
what
on.
you're trying to do. You're trying to
establish
pass along conviction.
Well, I'm just getting you ready for it. Sometimes when I'm preaching, it's like set you up. Like
Yeah,
people
oh,
get
yeah.
excited. One of my favorite things when preaching is when everyone's like fired up and they're like, "Hey, man, that's good." And like, like so I know what's coming in the text
Yeah.
or in my sermon, and you're about to like stick this dagger in, and they're gonna feel convicted.
Yeah.
It's like it's best to like get them pumped
That's why I
up.
call you Captain Conviction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm firing you up now
Okay.
to agree that we're rich. All right. 1 Timothy 17 says, "As for the rich in this present age." So is that you?
Do what?
The verse starts out, "As for the rich in the present age." So writing to rich people.
Yeah.
That's you.
I guess I'm in the top 1% or something.
Okay.
Probably top 5, but whatever.
You're top 1, man. If you look at the entire world,
Yeah, I get it.
we're all top 1%.
Okay.
We're that wealthy in America.
It doesn't feel that way, but okay.
Okay. You are. So 1 Timothy 17 starts out with, "As for the rich in this present age." So saying, hey, rich people, listen up, I'm about to talk to you.
Yeah.
So this verse applies to you.
Okay.
Are you, yes?
Sure. Yes, it does. I feel you setting me up for conviction here, so I'm not letting you string me along all the way.
All right. So verse 17, I'm going to pull it up here. I'm not even going to have you read it today. Usually you read the scripture. I'll do it. Let me find it. All right. As for the rich in this present age, Charge them not to be haughty, nor to set their hopes on the uncertainty of riches, but on God. So I think what it's showing us, like, riches have a way of stealing your hope away from God, or the hope you would have in God.
Yeah.
Riches
have a way of taking precedence over everything else.
Yeah. Or taking your heart from God.
Yeah.
Right? Because you start to hope or be comfortable in your riches.
Right.
You want me to keep going?
I'm not comfortable in my riches, but go ahead.
Well, I think what happens is, and I'm not saying this is about you. I
Yeah.
would say that we are both very rich compared to the world standards.
Well, yeah, that's why I became friends with the televangelist.
Yeah.
I like your private jet.
Yeah. Money. I mean, I have my own motorcycle. You can ride on the back of that anytime you want.
It's probably not going to happen. Funny thing.
Money becomes the thing that we think we need for life to be good, I think,
Yeah.
when we're rich. So we can't imagine a good life outside of having a lot of money. So with that, money starts to replace God in our hearts.
Yep.
Is I think what that verse is like. Tells like, hey, if you're rich, you really need to watch out here and not set your hopes on the uncertainty of riches, because riches are uncertain.
Oh, yeah.
Because
they come and go.
you could lose your job.
Right.
Our economy could shut down. I mean, we saw that with COVID, right?
Oh, yeah.
All overnight, like things that shut down. I mean, the government just started giving us free money.
Right.
But that's not going to happen every time.
Nope.
So
we need another COVID.
no, we don't. But money replaces God in our hearts many times of that. So that verse continues on. Let me pull up the rest. So not setting your hopes on the riches, uncertainty of riches, but on God, who richly provides us with everything to enjoy. So Paul here is writing in 1 Timothy, he's saying, hey, you need to set your hope on God.
Right.
Don't set your hope on your money.
Yeah, God will provide, but
He
your
will
money won't
provide.
always provide.
And God provides. I think the other side of money is like, it is a blessing. And God is saying right there is like, he's given it to us, and there's enjoyment that comes from it.
Right.
Like
It's okay to enjoy it.
it's okay to enjoy it, right? Yeah. Right. It's God gave it to you. There's that ability to enjoy some of the blessings without feeling.
But as long as you're
guilt.
utilizing it and using it responsibly,
Yeah.
it's okay to enjoy it. But I think it's when money takes precedence over God, when you idolize money over God, when it becomes the thing that you're looking most forward to, that's when it becomes a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's a danger of going so far, like where you can never enjoy the money that you have.
Right.
Like going deep sea fishing. We took a vacation to Florida together.
Yeah.
We had a blast.
Yeah.
And we spent a lot of money. I mean,
We did.
I mean, some people's standards maybe not, but in our standards, we spent a lot of
Yeah.
money. We had a good time. We didn't go in debt for it.
Right.
And God just kind of blessed it. And it was good. Like you don't have to feel guilty for that.
Right.
So I think God loves blessing us too.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, as a father, like
How could you not?
I love-
How could you not love your kids?
I like when my kids get to enjoy things.
Right.
Right. I mean, it's like, hey, I'm giving you this to enjoy for Christmas. We just had Christmas.
Yeah.
And one of my kids, I won't give them money.
Yeah.
Like for Christmas, like we buy them stuff because
Okay.
if we give them money, they're going to save it, and I don't know, maybe buy gas with it or something. But they're not going to buy anything they enjoy with it.
Okay.
And they're really just going to try to save it all, which is I'm kind of thankful for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, exactly.
But also, like at Christmas time, I want them to unwrap something that they're going to enjoy.
Yep, that makes
not
sense.
just like money they get to put in their piggy bank or whatever. Anyways, let's continue on with the text. Verse 18, they are to do good, to be rich in good works, to be generous and ready to share.
Yep.
So saying, God may bless you with money. He's writing to the rich, which we said is us.
Oh, yeah.
So what are we supposed to do with it? We're to be rich in good works, to be generous, ready to share,
Yep.
thus storing up treasure for themselves as a good foundation for the future so that they may take hold of that which is truly
And how much fun
life.
is giving it away and sharing it?
Yeah.
You know, that's one of my favorite parts. It's,
Yeah.
you know, probably something I wouldn't say I do it too much, but I thoroughly enjoy sharing it
Yeah.
with other people.
Yeah. Well, that's what Scripture tells. Like, hey, could it be said about your money that you are known for being rich in good works? Like, are you known as being like generous in how you use your money? Like, God has blessed you with it.
Right.
You're rich. Are you known for your generosity?
Yeah.
Which is what we should be known for as Christians.
Right.
And we've already decided that we're rich, right? So.
Yep.
But I don't know. What are you thinking? You're just trying to be quiet in this episode?
You know, I never consider myself rich, but like you said, if you think about the top 1% of the world, you we probably fall in line with that. We have access to money. We have everything that we really need in life. Maybe not everything that we want, but everything that we need.
Yeah.
And it's almost humbling to think of it that way.
Yeah. Well, the problem is, so if we go back to last week, remember we looked at Proverbs 22:7, the rich rules over the poor, the borrower is slave to the lender.
Yep.
We are rich, but we want more. Right. So we go in debt to try to get more things. Yeah. And so all of a sudden, like, we can't be generous, which we talked some last week, where we are blessed, we are rich, but we're living a different way.
Right. When you live a different way, it takes money away from one thing.
It does.
Yeah.
I mean, there used to be this thought, if you go back several decades ago, that if you didn't have money for something, you couldn't buy it.
Right.
Could you imagine? Right.
I can't, but
it sounds kind of crazy now, right?
Right.
But no, you can't charge it. There's no such thing as a credit card. Like, if you have the cash, you can go buy it. If not, you can't buy it.
Yep.
You had to save up the money. I think it's before the Great Depression, only 2% of houses had a mortgage on them.
Wow.
Because you would save up.
Yeah.
You'd buy a house.
Yeah. And you could afford to.
You could afford to.
Usually on one income.
And now it's probably less than 2% of houses actually don't have a mortgage, right? It's like, I think we deserve it.
It's crazy to build houses for people that don't have a mortgage.
Yeah.
People that aren't tied by the constraints of money.
Yeah. Do you think some of it came down to like a mentality of certain generations that they want what their parents have right now?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it is. Nobody wants to wait for anything, so we want it right now, and by any means necessary, we'll get it.
Yeah. I mean, I think of my parents. They didn't make a lot of money. We lived in this very small house, not the best part of town, and for years, like, they just lived there. They finally paid it off.
Yeah.
We drove old junky cars.
Right.
We never bought a new car. They'd break down.
Yep.
Find a way to work on it. And so they did this for years. And then when I graduated from high school, they bought, a nice house for them.
Yeah.
It's just kind of an average middle class house, but ranch. But they bought that. My dad got a new truck. My mom got a new vehicle. But they hadn't had that for...
How expensive of a kid were you to raise?
Right. They hadn't had that for the first 40 years they were married.
Yeah, exactly.
And they just put back money. They lived with less. They didn't go...
Yeah, I think that's a big reality check for a lot of kids is they want what their parents have because they're so used to using those things while they live with their parents. So when they get out on their own, they want these things and have no idea what it costs in the real world.
Yeah, so they go in debt to get them.
Yep.
So really it's like we're a bunch of pretenders. We don't have the money. We just look like we have the money because we have the house and we have the car and we have the clothes because we took out a credit card at Kohl's and the Old Navy and every store. When you go in there, like, do you want to put this on a credit card?
Yeah.
Yeah. Proverbs 13:7, it's one of my favorite verses about money. It says that one pretends to be rich, yet has nothing, and another pretends to be poor, yet has great wealth.
Right.
That was written thousands of years ago. But how true is that today that they're like millionaires all around? Like Dave Ramsey put out a book about like everyday millionaires or something. But it's fascinating how that a lot of times millionaires, you don't even realize it because they're driving an old car.
Right.
They
don't have the latest and greatest.
Yeah.
They're frugal. And they have a plan. It's crazy too. We built some houses for people that can't afford to furnish them. Yeah. And they live the first year without furniture. It's crazy, or 2 or 3 years until they can put back enough money to go out and buy furniture. And it's crazy to watch people, people are nuts sometimes.
Yep.
Walk into an empty house that's brand new.
Yeah. All right, here's the practical part we'll get to today. Proverbs, we're all over Proverbs today.
Yeah, we are.
25:28. A man without self-control is like a city broken into and left without walls. So if you don't have self-control, you're like a city. In the olden days, the city would have a wall. That's what protected people from coming in.
Yeah.
If you didn't have that, anybody could come in, robbers, different things. So I think ask yourself, do you have financial self-control?
Right.
Or are you like a city with no wall and you're vulnerable to attacks?
Yeah.
Just you have have no plan against the attacks when they come. Because here's the thing, like financial ones are going to come. If you don't have self-control, it's like when you're a kid and you walk by the candy store, you're wanting every piece of candy in there, right?
Right.
And if your parents take you in there, and if you had the means to do it, you're going to take every piece of candy in there.
Yeah, you would own the place when you left.
Right. And you don't care like what you'd have to pay for it, or if they tell you you're going to have to pay later for it, you're going to debt. Like you're 5 years old and you want that lollipop and that piece of fudge and everything else. The problem is we become adults and we still have that mentality. So we want that outfit. We want the car. We want that newest version of the gun. We want our kids to have the newest things.
Yep.
And I deserve this vacation and I don't have the money for it, so I'll go in debt for it.
How many times have you said, I deserve this?
Yeah.
To feel good about whatever you're buying.
Yep.
I've done it hundreds of times and thought about it recently. And it's like, you don't deserve any of this.
Yeah.
I think, people need to realize that.
Yeah. So I think that self-control is where it comes in, right?
Yeah.
So asking yourself, do you have financial self-control?
Right.
That you're going to say no to these things.
Right.
And it may just be for a season.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're having to go in debt to buy all this stuff, then you probably need to get some self-control.
Yeah,
but if
sure.
you have self-control, you save up cash, you get out of debt, then you buy. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. My daughter just bought a car.
Yeah.
She saved up cash to buy. Cause
Really?
something we've been pushing. It's like,
Yeah.
because if
I think you did that a few years ago, right?
Yeah.
Didn't you guys save up for years and bought a car?
Yeah, but we were well past 19 when we did it. I wish I had done it earlier.
Yeah.
So we've been encouraging her since she got a job. She wanted to buy her own car. She had a car she's driving, and so he's like, you just need to save up and pay cash for it. So she saved up, and then she spent, the car I think is like $6,000-$7,000.
Right.
So it's just a different experience when you have to go withdraw the money from the bank.
Oh, yeah.
And take that much money over.
Yeah.
And then she was calculating up like how many hours she had to work
to get the car.
She's a certified nursing assistant.
Okay.
So it's not a glamorous job. Like she works hard for the money.
No,
Like I tell her
know.
all the time, like,
I've heard some of the stories.
I said, I'm proud of you, right? Like you're doing a job that's needed in society.
Yep.
And you're working hard.
Generally gross.
And you're showing compassion. You're loving people.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm really proud of you. And so driving over, we're just kind of talking about how many hours she had to work and what all she had to do for that money to be able to get. But it's different. Like you feel it when you do it versus just walking in there, signing a piece of paper.
Right.
And knowing that you're going to pay $300 a month or whatever for the next 84 months.
Right. It's crazy though, but it's so much easier.
It is.
To do it that way.
Yeah.
It's so much easier to go in and swipe a credit card or swipe a debit card. But I mean, seriously, if you want to try a challenge, get rid of your debit cards and credit cards and just carry cash around each week.
Yeah.
Give yourself a budget and you really start thinking about where the money goes. When you're spending $10 here or $20 there, it really starts to make sense.
Yeah. Where are we at on time?
We're good.
17. Oh, okay, so we got some more time. I could talk about this for a while.
All right, what you got?
Well, this talking about, I think what we need to embrace is the idea of sacrificing.
Yeah.
That's what we do as Christians. Like we're to live sacrificial lives.
Right.
And so in our finances, we've got to be willing to sacrifice. So giving up something you love for something you love even more.
Yeah.
So I may love buying a hockey stick, but I love
You probably would.
even more being able to contribute to this or to help this
drink
person
your coffee.
out. Drinking my coffee. Or, it's like, if you really want to get debt free, maybe the thing that's getting me now is I've never had cable.
Really?
My entire life. Yeah.
Okay.
But now, like, to watch, like, there's all these different subscriptions.
Yeah.
Right? So you got to have, if you want to watch
It's even worse than having cable,
this
probably.
football game, you have to have, like, Paramount Plus to watch
Right.
the Colts play if your antenna doesn't work. And then you need this one to be able to watch the Sunday night game. And before long, you have, like, all these subscriptions.
Yeah, now you got $100 in subscriptions.
Yeah. And so, if you're in debt, like it may be like, hey, I'm going to sacrifice having these things.
Right.
Because I really love the idea of financial freedom.
Yeah. Well, because I chose at one point that this was more important than this, and I can't have both.
Yeah.
And maybe you sacrifice something so you can pay off the other thing that you bought.
Yeah. So you may love eating out.
Yeah.
But you really want to pay your vehicle off.
Right.
Right. So I love eating out, but I'm going to start taking my lunch to work some, right? Or something, right? Or cooking dinner at home. I think that's like loving. So that's the idea of sacrificing. It's like you care about this even more. So you're going to sacrifice to get that.
Right.
And as Christians, that's what we should be doing.
Yep.
So let me finish the verse.
Finish the verse.
Verse 19. That text, remember at the beginning we started with you being rich.
Yeah.
Writing to you. And it says, storing up treasure for themselves as a good foundation for the future so that they may take hold of that which is truly life. Which I really like how that ends. Like, hey, I know you're rich and have money, but you need to use that money to serve others.
Right.
God has blessed you with it, so there's going to be some fun
treasures.
that comes with it.
Right.
But at the end, like, take hold of what is truly life, right? And you get that through living within your means, through giving sacrificially, through embracing a better treasure than the treasure of this world.
Right.
Yeah. What?
Nothing, man. I keep thinking about giving and how much I enjoy it. So it
Yeah.
just keeps hitting home. I love giving it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I agree. Like, that's changed on my mentality on finances some. Is that in my next season, like I would love to be able just to be more generous.
Yeah, I would love for you to do that too.
Yeah.
You can start with your friends.
Start with my friends. I'll let you know.
Okay, yeah. We'll see when that next season of your life comes.
Yeah.
You'll be picking new friends or something.
I don't know. Powerball is like 810 million or something.
Yeah,
yesterday.
I'm not wasting my money on that.
I'm not either.
Yeah.
I only know.
But it would be fun.
Someone texted me and asked me if I got my ticket. And I was like,
yeah.
No, I'm not even sure how to buy a ticket.
Yeah.
I tried to give it to you, and you offended me.
You gave me like a 50-cent winning lottery ticket.
$1 because I got it. So I bought my house 3 or 4 years ago. My realtor sends me a lottery ticket every year.
Okay.
I guess this does it for everyone.
Nice. That's actually a good plan.
Yeah.
So if you hit big,
well,
then you'll probably call him to go buy a new house.
I hit $1. It's the one lottery ticket I get a year. I won $1, and I wasn't I'm Karen, a girl, someone went over to see at your house. Went by your house, and I said, "Hey, give this to Nick for me," and they come home with it.
Well, I knew what your salary was, and I wanted to give back to you. So,
okay.
Yeah.
I thought you would turn it in and then like get another one and see if you won big and we'd split it.
I usually don't have that luck.
Yeah.
Usually, if I buy one and I win a little bit of money, then I got to give 10% to the church, and then after that, I usually end up losing. So, usually not a great thing for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, so we're getting ready in, but what are you most excited about for Tough Men of Faith this year?
Honestly, I want to get back to doing more interviews again.
Yeah.
Not that I don't just enjoy talking to you, but I do enjoy the interviews and just the different perspectives that other people bring to this.
Yeah.
And I really like hearing about people's occupations and what they do. How do you spend 8 or 10 or 12 hours a day, or a third or a half of your life? What do you do doing that?
Yeah.
And, I'm excited for that.
I agree. We'll get some back in here.
Yeah.
That was one of the highlights of last year with Tough Men of Faith was I thought we hit a great stride.
We got to get less firemen on here, though.
Well, we did have a lot of firemen.
Yeah.
But we got to some great interviews. I learned a lot.
Maybe being a fireman's easy, and that's why we had so many of them.
You said it.
I know a couple firemen, so it's okay to make jokes.
You can make fun of them.
Yeah.
You know, is that how it works?
Yeah, I guess we need some cops in here or something.
Well, yeah.
Let's do that.
Let's get some people in here.
All right.
All right. Thanks for joining us for Tough Men of Faith. Make sure that you're liking it on Facebook and Instagram and X. Subscribe on YouTube.
Nice.
We got those reels going now. Have you watched any of
I've
those?
seen a bunch of them. They're pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you get on YouTube, if you see a reel of yourself, do you watch it or do you scroll through?
No, I usually watch it and then I usually like it.
Okay.
I don't know how many likes it takes to start getting paid, but it's obviously not how many we have.
No. No. All right. Well, thanks for joining us for Tough Men of Faith.
Yeah, we'll see you soon. Thanks.